Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mr. Smelly Fragrance Show. So today we're going to be having a look at Zoologist Bee. This is going to be one of my quick unedited videos where I shoot in this POV fashion. Thank you to Claire from the Smurfygurly channel for giving me a decant of this fragrance, which I'm basing the review on. I'm filming this review in her garden with her bottle so I can show you the full presentation. Also, I will link the Zoologist website in the description of the video, and I'll link Claire's excellent review of Zoologist Bee in the description too. Zoologist, a house famous for their fragrances centered around different animals. There's been things like nightingale, rhinoceros, panda, what else? Oh god, moth, camel, all kinds of fantastic things. T-Rex even, an extinct animal, a dinosaur, and even dodo, one of my favourites. The company is famous for having brilliant packaging as well as rather innovative fragrances, and in this case it's no exception. We've got a special edition box here with a honeycomb thing around it and a very nice yellow box. More importantly, the most wonderful thing really is that illustration that you can see there of a bee, beautifully drawn by artist Daisy Chan, who does all the illustrations for them. And the bottle itself is a rather pleasing thing to own indeed. It's very, very heavy. It's a 60ml bottle. It retails at, I think on the website, $195. That translates to about £150 if you're in the UK. You can also get an 11ml travel spray, which I think is that's $55, and that's around about £42. And there are smaller sample sets on the website as well. So Zoologist, famous for very challenging fragrances. It's a very quirky concept, isn't it? They've gone for animals, and they're not just picking obvious, nice, exciting or sexy animals. You know, they haven't done a tiger, they haven't done an eagle. Nightingale is about as kind of nice as it gets. Hummingbird they've done, but there's all kinds of weird animals that you wouldn't really think would be associated with a nice smelling fragrance. There's even been there was bat, there's moth, so they're very, very quirky. Bee is one of the fragrances that certainly in the type of animal that it is a little bit more friendly, likable, and the smell is one of the more wearable and approachable ones from this house. So let's talk about the smell on Bee. A bit more. Yeah, you can see the bottle, very dark, kind of honey coloured juice, unsurprisingly for a fragrance called Bee. The notes in this one are created by Cristiano Canali, the perfumer, by the way. In the top we have orange, ginger syrup, royal jelly accord. In the mid, broom, which is a shrub which grows in Mediterranean countries and smells similar to vanilla. We also have heliotrope, mimosa, orange, and orange flower. In the base, it's benzoin, labdanum, musks, sandalwood, tonka, and vanilla. The box is very nice, as in keeping with the rather nice bottle design. There's the note listing for you, and there's a rather charming story there about the frantic work of the bees in the rather claustrophobic beehive. So really nice concept, beautifully illustrated, and a nice little story giving you, that idea of how this one's... Oh, you can see my head there in the reflection, how embarrassing. You can really sort of get the picture of not just how it smells in terms of, orange flower, mimosa, but the kind of feeling they wanted to evoke when they created this fragrance. It would be Cristiano Canali, in somewhat close conjunction, I think, with the man behind the brand, Victor Wong, the man who commissions all the fragrances, and I think is very intimately involved in conceiving which creatures should be featured and what kind of smells he wants, and even how the illustrations should look, I think, to some extent. So this one is a very, very honey-like smell. Honey can mean many things, and to me, I picture the kind of honey that has not been processed. It's not the one that you buy, the cheap one in the supermarket, but it's one that's actually just been ripped out from the beehive and is still dripping off the honeycomb. It's untreated, it's unpasteurized, it's very rich, it's very spicy. The bees which have produced this honey live perhaps in an environment where there's some very rich and very, very strong smelling kinds of pollen, I guess. So it's really quite unctuous. It's certainly sweet, but it's not simply sweet, and this is not like golden syrup. The great thing about honey is that it can have a little bit of a spicy edge to it, even a funky animalic thing, a little bit of a floral tone. Honeys come in many different varieties, and I would say this is quite a dark honey and quite a thick and gloopy one. So the ginger note is one of the spices listed, but they're kind of mixed, hard to identify spicy tones in here to me. A very, very nice sweetness, but it's balanced with floral notes. And although, again, it's not very easy to pick out specific floral notes, that sort of floral, airy tone does run right through this one, keeping it from getting too cloying or gloopy. As the fragrance dries down, the resinous labdanum and some of the woods do come through a little bit more for a more of a traditional kind of perfume, sweet, almost ambery resinous dry down, and it's really, really beautiful. The projection and longevity are excellent. It's 18% an extract of parfum, very long lasting and very strong, so be careful how you apply this one. To me, it's a fantastically complex and rich and, let's say, challenging. I mean, it challenges your mind to try and pick out different notes each time you wear it. It's very, very likable. People around you are likely to enjoy it. Most people would say it's more for, it would be, perhaps more typically be expected to be worn by a lady, but men and women can equally well wear this one. It's probably going to please gourmand lovers, but if they really like their simple gourmand fragrances that just smell of strawberries or chocolate, then this is way beyond that. It's a much more complex piece of perfumery. So compared to some of the other zoologists, I would put this in the top 2 or 3 in terms of likability and wearability. Performance is excellent, and the actual smell is just a beautiful spicy honey. The spiciness dissipates a little bit over time, and you're left with a wonderfully smooth, sweet, resinous and musky dry down that lasts for days and days on clothes. So I would say if you're a fan of Zoologist, this is an absolute must try. And even if you've tried some of the more challenging ones and not enjoyed them, this one would be well worth checking out, because it might just be the Zoologist for you. It's very, very pleasant for gourmand lovers and those who love rich and spicy scents. Let me know if you've tried anything from Zoologist, and particularly, have you tried Bee yet? That's the end of the video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Bye-bye. Don't forget, if you'd like to join the Smelly Army private members club over on Patreon, there's a link in the description to do that. It costs just $2 a month, and you get an extra video from me every week, plus you get to watch everything I've already uploaded in there. We're building a really nice community, lots of interaction, and I'd love to see you in there.